Good evening and welcome to what I believe is round seven, round seven, round seven, Singapore. Anyway, of Tier 2's SLR Grand Prix. We are looking forward to a fantastic race here at Singapore. It's always a brilliant, entertaining race. Lots to usually going on here. Street track and safety cars aplenty. But it's Kebab on the mic tonight, and Babulas with me. Looking forward to doing more commentary with you today, Babulas. Welcome.
Good evening, happy New Year to everybody. I hope you enjoyed yourself over the holidays. I don't think drank too much. And about Singapore, it's one of my favorite tracks. Although most of the times I manage to hit a wall or something. But it's very technical. You have to have a specific strategy in mind because a lot of things can happen. You can have up to 5 safety cars, so a lot of things can change, including the weather. As we recall the last season, that we had to change the strategy because it started raining at the end of the race.
Yeah, we've had a lot of rain in Tier 2 so far this season as well. Not everybody's happy about that, but I'm sure Joel is. He always says in commentary in the interviews afterwards that he loves the rain. Constantly crashes in the rain, so I'm not sure why. But yeah, very, very technical track this, especially that corner there. That was just, well, we're not seeing it at the moment, but Padang it's called, corner 9, a left-hander. Very tricky one to get right, but there's a few very, very tricky sections, very technical places on this track. That's very easy to lose it and end up in one of those walls as well. But it's also brilliant for racing here. There's only a couple of overtaking spots around this track, but if people make mistakes in front of you, then you can send it in some unorthodox places as well. But they have to be aware that you're there, otherwise they could smash you into a wall. But yeah, very, very tough track. One of the hardest on the calendar. One of the drivers all say it's all the drivers say it's one of the hardest on the calendar. Let's refresh ourselves after that fantastic Christmas break on the standings in the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors as well. So Christian is currently leading the championship after Mipo has been leading it for the majority of the season so far, but it's only a 4-point lead. So it's still lots to play for. Samim and AR Gamer both coming up in third and fourth as well, all within touching distance of the win of the Constructors there. But then there's a big gap down to Smelter on 49 points. And then the rest, Futuristic still doing well so far this season with a couple of good results so far. Constructors-wise, it's Aston Martin still holding the advantage in the Constructors, but only 20 points behind is Ferrari, and we've also got Haas in the mix as well. Now that Vinge has turned up on the scene in a Haas seat, Haas have been picking up a lot more points since he's got his full-time drive. So interesting to see how this pans out in the last 4 races that we've got. But let's get on track and see what's going on, because we currently have Samim out there doing the first lap. We've already got a retirement, which is Smelto, which is on track. That's out of turn 3. Well, turn 4, just about, because there's a little kink there. That's apparently a corner. But Samim currently on a flyer at the moment, and looking rapid. He'll be looking to set the early pace. We might see some 37s this evening, I think, but 38s is probably going to be the mainstay for the majority of people. But a couple of those quick guys might be up there in the 37s. Christian, obviously, always quick in qualifying, maybe lacks the race pace at times, but hopefully he's been working on that over the break.
But okay, I have to interrupt you because we have a info from the track. Wet start with a chance of dry at the end. So this is the information we've got from Ocean Chief.
Okay,
let's see what happens.
Very interesting, yeah. 37.9 straight away with a banker from Samim. So he's setting down an early marker there. And we'll see 37.1 from Vinge as well. We might see 36s then. So that kind of tells me exactly how slow I am around this track. After I was practicing yesterday, I was quite proud of a 38.1. It turns out that's nothing, really. These guys are doing something else. A 36.6 from Crystals. We know this guy's fast. He's been absolutely rapid in the past. He hasn't raced consistently for a long time in F1. He's been too busy playing ACC. But this guy's always been absolutely rapid, and he's set down an early marker there as well. 36.6, that is rapid. So quick. Ocean Chief says his personal best is a 40 flat. So maybe I'm taking some points off him this Sunday in the non-R tier, but I doubt it. I think he's sandbagging, as always. As Meepo sets a 36.6 as well. These guys, absolutely rapid so far. But yeah, I was in a practice session with Wesley and Silver yesterday. Got pole there with a 38.1, and I was very chuffed with that. I think, yeah, I was thinking, well, 37.9 might be the best I could do. These guys are just showing me up something rotten. As is always the case, these guys have actual talent, whereas I'm just making up the numbers sometimes. Welcome back once more to Yanni Haltu as well. Meepo's father. Good to see him always in chat supporting his son. Great to see. Hope you had a good Christmas. Ocean Chief, you don't call your captain at all, man. You've been demoted to lieutenant. So. But yeah, let's see if we can find somebody on a hot lap and take us for a tour.
Oh my God. Mr. D managed to invalidate his lap at the last corner.
That's unfortunate. I've done that plenty of times. I did that yesterday in the practice session as well. Managed to set a similar time to that invalidation, but it's a very easy corner to lose it on. We've got Skin Tony coming around the final corner now. I don't know if I think he's just finishing his lap. And he crosses the line just 39.8, so still once more looking for some more qualifying pace. Let's see if we can find anybody who's just started a lap. Heat has spun and is currently around. He's in the final corner. I think that's on his flying lap as well. So he gets out of the way of anybody coming up behind. But it looks like we've got a bit of a lull in qualifying at the moment. You're only going to get the 3 runs at this track. It's quite a long track, one of the longest on the calendar, if not the longest on the calendar, I believe. And it's going to add some changes for 2023, I believe, as well. I just noticed that when I was looking up the corner names. We're going to have a different layout for 2023. Singapore, we're going to have no turns 16, 17, and 18.
Oh, the racing place penalty.
That is very unfortunate. That is coming into the pits as well, by the looks of things. So I get the feeling that the guy in front of him just braked a bit unexpectedly, and he goes into the back of them. As Chief corrects me by telling me that it's Spa that's the longest on the calendar. I don't know if it's Spa is quite... Yeah, Spa is a 1 minute 40s or so, isn't it? Really, it's time-wise as well. So.
Yeah, 7 kilometers. It's not something you call small.
I don't believe for a minute that Chief knows that off the top of his head. I 100% guarantee that is 100% copy and pasted straight from Wikipedia. After he googled that particular stat.
Google is our friend, you know that. Come on, don't be such a guy.
Google knows.
That was from memory. You managed to write all this from memory? Oh, come on.
That was from memory. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Another penalty there, Christian. Illegal blocking. That one was 4. I've never seen that one before. Illegal blocking. There's an Aston Martin behind him, but they're on outlaps as well, so I don't know what's going on there. Haskos manages to get himself up to P8 here, but at the moment it's Crystals and Meepo who are dominating this qualifying session. With quite a sizable margin over the next quickest runners. But we've got Smelto is obviously out of the session at the moment. He's going to start at the back, but he has some real pace as well. We've seen it before. He's also good at overtaking as well, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do in the race. But wet setups, I imagine, as well. I wonder how many people have a wet setup ready for this and who's got a dry setup. It's obviously a very high downforce track, this. But
I'm telling you right now, Mr. D will go with a dry setup.
Yeah, possibly. Let's see.
I know, I train him. I may not be a good driver, but I'm a good trainer.
Let's follow on board then with with Matt Pilot at the moment. It's just Matt today, but he comes around the final corner, gets a good exit. Going to be braking just after this black banner across the top of the thing there. Just carry as much speed as you can through these corners and get a good exit. Get the car straight as you can on that exit there before this right-hander. Very tricky, this one. Got to slow it down more than you think, but carry more speed than you think as well. Get closer to the wall than that as well. Now we've got the back straight. The best overtaking spot on the track here as we brake to turn 7. Got to cut a lot of curb there, and just comes at you non-stop this track as we go around Stamford and then Padang. This is, I think, the hardest corner on the calendar. Got to take a very late apex, let it flow into that corner and then through the Singapore sling. Just chuck it in here. Use a lot more curb than that, I think, and carry more speed than you believe you can through here, but avoid that curb on the inside there. I sometimes find that unsettles the car too much. This hairpin, a lot of time to be gained or lost here as well. You've got to take a nice late apex and get on the power early. Now down into Connaught, turn 14. One of the simpler corners on the calendar. Early on the throttle and hard on the throttle out of the exit there. You've got more traction than you think you have. Now this section, very, very tricky, turn 16, 17. You can take a lot more curb on that left-hander there as well. And then through the tunnel, carry more speed than you believe you can. Do not take that curb like Matt just did. That definitely unsettles the car and throw you into the wall. And then these last two corners I can never get right either. But he should be taking a lot more curb than he did there. But final corner, just a little lift. Keep it in 6th. And early on the power again, round the final corner and across the finish line. And it's a 137.2 from Matt Pilot. So not bad at all. Gets himself up into P4. Decent lap. Looks like there was definitely time to be gained in that lap as well. Using some curves that he shouldn't, and not using curves that he should in some areas. Or it could just be that I'm terrible at this track. I mean, I'm doing 38.1, so what do I know? He's doing 37.2s. 36.3 comes in from Christian. So that's his qualifying pace just shining through once more. Again, absolutely rapid. As Meepo blasts that out of the water with a 36 flat. We're going to see 35s here? I wonder, are we? As Meepo actually overtakes in AlphaTauri there on his in-lap. Yeah, let's see if we can find somebody who's again has managed to get himself up into P4 now as well. Matt dropping down the order a little bit as more people get into the 36s. But that is an absolutely incredible lap from Meepo so far. Really puts a marker down. Let's see if we can follow on board with Crystal. Is he on a lap? I don't think he is. He's invalidated anyway. So let's find somebody on a lap. It won't be Matt. Everybody's in the pits. We've got Vietje.
Okay, we have to consider the fact that if the track is wet, the driver is going to have a really hard time with some of the curves, because some of the curves are very, very slippery. They are not too high, but they are slippery, so you can spin rather easily at some points. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, I mean, curbs definitely get slippier in the wet, and not so much in this game compared to other sim racing games. This is obviously a simcade game, so it's a little less so in this one. But what it is in this game as well is that the curbs do unsettle the car, especially this year's version of the game as well, with the downforce being from the floor. It definitely unsettles some of the curbs, the higher ones especially, unsettle the car a bit. And in the wet, it just gives you a lot less chance to catch it if it does get unsettled. So it's a very, very tricky track at the best of times, and in the wet it just makes it even harder. I imagine we're going to see a few DNFs today. The wet conditions here are very, very tricky. Traction zones everywhere, particularly out of the hairpin. Turn 13 is particularly difficult, which you're just seeing Heat go through now. Heat currently with a 144 flat. We'll definitely be looking to improve on that. He's got a purple sector 2 here, which is the most technical sector of the track, I believe. Sector 3 is also pretty difficult.
You see the curves, how camera shows them. It's like glass or something. It's very slippery when it rains. It's slippery even if it's not raining. That's why you have to be extra careful when you go out of the corner. You touch the curb and that curb might spin you, like the last curb you touch on the finish line.
Yeah. It's definitely there's a lot of the curbs here. You've got to take them. You've got to run them over a bit, flatten them as you would maybe in a 4x4 car or something like that kind of thing. But obviously, you're taking big risk doing that in the race, especially in the wet. So I get the feeling a number of people are going to be making errors here and there around here. But he did manage to get himself up into P8 with a decent lap, 37.9. We've seen a number of we've seen big gaps, which you generally tend to see more of in these longer tracks. There's more corners, longer track, more times opportunities to make a mistake and lose a bit of time, and therefore we see bigger gaps between the drivers. Say somebody like Zandvoort, which is just like a minute and 10 seconds long or so. There's obviously a much tighter gap between the majority of the drivers, but at the moment it's pretty tight at the top as well. Crystals still hasn't managed to better his 36.3, but I wonder who's got a number of guys who are going to be shooting it out for that pole position. A number of guys who could possibly snatch it. We've got Meepo, Christian, Crystals. Here, Gamer on his day. Larson has retired from the session with a 141.9 as well. I'm not sure if that's on track either. It doesn't look as though it is. No, he's in the pit, so I'm not sure. He just probably thinks he can't get back out.
It has, yeah, it was on the verge of time. I don't know if it was enough time to pass the finish line to start the normal round.
Got Samim who's about to start a lap here. He's backing up Heat a little bit, but I think Heat's on an M lap anyway. But Samim, away he goes, and he comes around that final corner. Good exit there. And off we go for a lap of Singapore once more. And yeah, this first four corners, I should say, because this is all 4 corners here that he's going through now. Very, very tough to get right, really. You've got to carry a lot more speed than you believe you can through those corners. But it's not so much like... not very easy to do so. You've got to, as I say, cut a lot of those curbs, and that can be dangerous in the race as well. This is a very good overtaking spot here, down into turn 7, Memorial Corner, and you can go around up the inside or around the outside. Both are good. Round the outside is probably the better one to go for if the guy's defending it hard, because then you have the inside for Stamford, which is definitely not a corner you can go too wide through. That is pretty much the only overtaking spot until you get to the back straight down into Connaught, but that's very, very difficult to get an overtake done.
Joel has fun in sector 2.
That's unfortunate for Joel. That's probably his hot lap done, his final hot lap done, but on board with Samim we go, as he's going to be the first to cross the line. We've got a little train of cars in front of him, some traffic near the end of the lap here. They're all coming around the bay at the moment, and they're all looking to start a lap. They'll be hopefully out of the way of Samim by the time he gets there. But they'll all be looking to start. Wesley, he managed to get himself P11, has retired. Haskos has retired. And a 5-place grid penalty for Skintoni for illegal blocking as well. And that's the second person to get that. And Christian also got a 5-place grid penalty as well. So I'm not sure what's going on here, if this is a bug or a new issue with the game, because God knows we've got plenty of those. Samim crosses the line and doesn't improve, so unfortunate for him, he stays P9 and may drop out of the top 10 altogether. See if we can find out who's coming across the line next. We've got Christian on a lap at the moment. He looks like he's 2.5 tenths up as well. Could this be pole for Christian? He needs it anyway, because he's got that 5 grid place penalty, and he does get pole with a 36 flat. Very, very tight at the top though, as his teammate now coming across the line in P4. He upgrades his time by 7 tenths almost, but not enough. But that is the checkered flag. We've got Meepo is invalidated, so he won't be getting pole. So is Crystals as well. No pole for them. AR Gamer has backed out of it, so it looks like Tanari is the only person left who can maybe challenge for this pole position, and it doesn't. He's 2 tenths up, but that's a long way off still. He's in the 37s. So he's a long, long way off the pole time. So it looks as though Christian's going to be pole, but Meepo will inherit that pole because of this 5 grid place penalty that that Christian has for illegal blocking, I believe it was. I'm pretty sure he got a grid place penalty. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Tanari now coming around the bay. Turns 22 and 23 now. 23, this fast left-hander. He cuts a lot of that, gets that spot on, and improves to a 36.5. Gets himself up to P5, but not good enough to take pole. Meepo with his invalidated lap will not improve. He was a 35.7 though that he actually did, so had he made that valid, that would have been pole easily by quite some way. So
we are gonna have a lot of penalties because of the boundaries, the track boundaries.
Oh yeah, that's
remember that.
There's definitely going to be a few penalties in the race for sure, especially turns
not
1, 2, 3.
not just a few, not just a few. Trust me. I believe we have the grid penalties or something, because the track is the limits of the track is very weird, to say the least.
It can be, yeah. There's a few places that very, very tricky to get it right, and yeah, that left-hander turn 5, the right-hander there, just on the entry there. But yeah, there's confirmation that Christian gets a 5th-place grid position penalty, and Meepo is therefore starting in pole in what I believe is going to be a very, very wet race. But we shall see, because Jeff or Mark lies a lot. But that is our grid. Smelto starting at the very back. He's got the first challenge on. Futuristic and Skin Tony both have grid penalties as well. They will probably, well, Futuristic means that he's probably starting at the back because he's only P16. So that 5 grid place penalty means he's going to be dropping all the way to the back. Smelto won't get the first challenge, therefore.
And if you didn't notice, we have a Greek battle at the 12th and 13th place between Haskos and Mr. D. So it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
That's gonna be interesting. Hopefully, Kiriakidis doesn't have any issues with his connection, because he's been rubber banding quite a bit in previous races. But yeah, it is very much raining. Then it looks like full wet conditions by the looks of things. Or could it be intermediate? Maybe. We shall see.
If we don't have another camera angle, we can't say for sure. From this angle, I see full wet. From this angle, but I can't promise anything. I
can only see intermediate tyres in the garage there on the left-hand side of my screen there, so that's you can't see it because of the SLR logo in the way, but it is there. They are there. You can just see the green peeking over the top of that there, so it could be intermediate. I mean, I think Singapore is one of those tracks where even when it's raining heavily, it's pretty much an intermediate track. SC potential, Damien says, is huge. It definitely is. I mean, it's huge here anyway, even without these conditions. But I imagine there's going to be a few people who are relishing these conditions and hoping to gain some positions, and a few people who just want to try and keep things safe and on track. And I would, well, we've got no formation up. We're going to be underway straight away. 5 lights, and away we go with Ferrari. Gets us underway. It looks like the Alpine has got a good start, though. Let's see if we can get on board with them. But no, the Ferrari's got away, and it's a Haas up the inside already. It is Vinge going at Meepo into turn 1, and doesn't get it, but absolute havoc in this Aston Martin around. That is AR Gamer. He lost a bit of wing there as well, as we've got absolute carnage into turn 1 and 2. Yellow flags already. No safety car, and Meepo gets a clean getaway. It's Naria's already up into P3, and Christian not making good headway at the moment. Matt up to P4, and Crystal's dropping down like a fly. He's not had a good start here at all. Loses out to Christian, who gains
at the back. It's a mayhem at the back. It's a mayhem at the back.
Yeah, always is in conditions like these. It's very difficult to see what's going on ahead, but yeah, it's an interesting start. People have gained, people have lost, but big loser there, I think, is AR Gamer, who may have to come in to replace some wing. But we have got underway. It looks like Meepo has disappeared off into the distance already. His teammate is already putting this Haas under a lot of pressure. Matt up into P4 will be looking will be very happy with his start as well. Crystals has dropped 3 or 4 positions. Will be disappointed with that, as we've got Haskos is around by the looks of things, and he's into the wall with no wing, and it's retirement from Smelto as well. That's a full course yellow. Have we got a safety car? Yes, we do. It's a full course safety car in the first lap, and I think it may have been Smelto that caused that one. Haskos as well, with no front wing at all. Just lost it out of Singapore Sling by the looks of things. Maybe contact, something going on there, but we have a full course safety car. To be expected.
Same God, I'm not fear. Same God, I'm not in fear.
It is intermediate tyres as well. Let's have a look at the tyre situations. Everybody on intermediates. Let's see. Yes, everybody started on intermediates. I wonder if anybody's going to go for a pit stop here, or everybody's just going to carry on. I mean, anybody who's got damage will certainly take this opportunity to pit for free. And but they will end up at the back for sure. But Meepo stays out and has a huge gap already. But that's obviously going to be nullified by this. But Yeah, what an entertaining first lap there. Well, everything there. Safety car, crashes, gains, losses.
Okay, we have the position gains and losses for the first lap. Crystallis lost 4 places. Silver gained 6 places. Kinton 8. 9 places for AR Gamer. He lost 9 places. Haskell's.
Well, things are changing a bit because of the pit stops at the same time. But
Yeah.
AR Gamer loses 9 positions. Heatout loses out on 10. So 6 drivers altogether, of course, Smelter not included, with damage there in that opening lap. So, yeah, Christmas break. People have lost their edge, I suppose. Bit of rust to shake off, but it's a long race. We've still got plenty of time to go. We'll probably have 2 more laps under this safety car. I doubt these guys at the back will catch up before here as well, before the safety car line. But very tricky to get a restart done here as well. I mean, Tipsy Bob in chat, Damien in the chat, he knows all too well about how difficult it is to restart here in Singapore. I think he got a penalty here a while back for overtaking somebody before the finish line. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember some drama surrounding a restart with Tipsy Bob here. But yeah, I imagine that this is not our first safety car. Our last safety car, sorry. It's definitely the first one. I'll get there in the end. I need a cup of tea. Jesus.
You need a cup of tea, and I have to say my teammate, Mr. D, is doing fantastic right now. He's not lagging or something, and he gained 4 places.
Yeah, certainly did. It's not a bad start at all. He's got a couple of people around him who've also gained big time as well, but there are people at the back who will be looking to regain those positions back. We still have very early days in this race so far. And how many went to full wets? Let's have a look at the tyres. So only one driver went for full wets, and that was Futuristic. It looks like the weather is heavy. The rain is heavy, but remains to be seen whether or not he's made the right decision.
It's going to be proved on track when we have a full race, if he's going to gain or losing time from the cars in front and behind.
Yeah, this should be the last lap under the safety car. We'll get going again once they get back round. But Ocean Chief says that the weather report before the race said that it was going to be light rain.
Larson pitted?
Larson pits again. So I wonder if that's for another wing change. Probably is. Or is he's gone for intermediate again as well. So
we know the game has a bug. When you have a damage, sometimes the game doesn't change the front wing.
I don't know how much of that is a bug. It just like if it's set to automatic, it'll only change it if you're like heavy orange damage on the front wing. So you need to set it to yes before you go in.
Even if you have a heavy orange to red, and you still may go out without a front wing change.
Yeah, it's unfortunate sometimes.
It happened to me. That's why I know it.
It's definitely happened to plenty of people. I mean, there's the amount of times that I've said put the softs on and it gives me old hard tyres. The game sometimes it's an absolute joke sometimes, really, like the programming in this game. But we have got some more weather coming in by the looks of things. So Ocean Chief says we're going to have heavy wet weather coming in soon, and that's going to go back to light weather and then dry maybe at the end. And if there's more safety cars, I imagine we'll get to that dry weather without a problem. But it's going to be very, very interesting strategy-wise. Keen to note that...
Because Jeff said it's heavy rain. Who's going to pit? Who's going to be the first to pit?
I think, honestly, in these kind of situations, the delta difference between intermediates and the wets is fairly minimal. Safety car is in this lap. People will be the one to get us underway. But I'd say you're probably better off hanging it out on the intermediates and just struggling through the period and short-shifting a bit, going a bit slower, rather than taking a pit stop, because the pit stops here are quite long and cost you quite a bit of time. And if it's only going to be heavy wet
but the problem, you know what the problem is? If the weather is for full wet, the wet tires will give you more grip, more stability, so you can attack even more.
Yeah, but it's got to be like 2 seconds a lap, right? Otherwise, the intermediates, you would be better off staying on the intermediates and not taking the hit on the pit stop. But we're about to get underway. Meepo backing everybody up. He hasn't gone yet out of the final corner, and I think he's gone now, just before the final corner, and he gets a good getaway. He's getting away from Vinge. It's a decent restart. He's done it nice and safely. No overtakes, no major incidents behind. Looks like Kyriakidis is going to go on it for Joel, and Joel defended it and then lost it anyway. So Kyriakidis up into P8 with a great overtake on the restart. Catches Joel napping. Yeah, Tenari all over the back of the horse in front of him at the moment as well, putting pressure on Vinge as Matt behind there gets a bit of a swapper out of turn 5, but looks like he's going to be... Oh, he's going to lose out to Christian because of that swapper as well. Christian does get it in plenty of time before the corner, and a purple sector 1 as well for Christian. So he's got a point to prove and points to gain as well. He needs to beat Meepo in this race in order to pile the pressure on going into the last 3 races of the season for the constructors. Vinge, obviously latecomer to the league, but oh, that's a very wide line there from Christian. That's not what he wants. As Lepson is now falling down the order as he span. Nope, he's back. He's on track. He's losing positions hand over fist though. There's a Mercedes of Larson tries to go on the outside and thinks better of it in Patang. And then
Futuristic Gaming Places is now up to P12 with the wet tires. Wet tires must be the compound you should use right now.
Yeah, I mean, that could mean that Futuristic has done the genius play and changed to the wets under the safety car, giving him plenty of time. Oh, retirement for Skin Tony, that is on track as well. That is in turns 11 and 12. He has died, and it's another safety car. Another safety car.
Now, whoever wants to pit for wets, now is the time.
Certainly is, yeah. I imagine we'll see a flurry of activity in the pit lane now. Everybody going for the wets. That depends on whether or not everybody knows that Futuristic was pacey as well. Futuristic did lose a bit of time to the guys in front, but I think that was because of the battle he was having with Haskos and Heat, maybe. But, yeah, only one position change, really. And that was Kyriakidis on Joel. I wonder if Joel's going to try and get revenge now, but there's a number of guys coming into the pits. The top 4, 5, 6 do not, though. Kyriakidis stays out on the intermediates, and that looks like it'll be a big gain for him on position, track position. Track position, of course, very big here. AR Gamer has died under the safety car. I think he went spinning. I think he did, yeah. He went spinning out of the final corner and died into the pit wall. So that is very unfortunate. I want to say something insulting to him for crashing under the safety car, but I can't really because I've done it twice. You're not supposed to be racing under the safety car, though. How you crash under the safety car. But that's third DNF so far. We're only 5 laps in. Second safety car as well. Only 5 laps in as well. So lots and lots of rust. Matt and Christian, yes, of course, yes. Damien. Apologies, I'm still rusty myself after the Christmas break, even on the commentary side.
It's only logical, my friend. Too many sweets to taste, too many cakes to eat, and a lot of beer. Yes?
Yeah, a fair bit of whiskey as well, to be honest. But yeah, I've had indigestion since Christmas Day. I've had stuff in my face so much. But yeah, it was a good holiday for me. How about you?
The basic things. Just Home Alone as a movie, enjoying Christmas movies, and drinking Greek wine.
Nice. Bit of Retina on Christmas Eve, yeah.
Mavro Daphne. If you do something, do it right.
That's right, Danny Co. He did die under the safety car. Yeah, out at the final corner. Lost the back end and crashed into the pit wall. And I don't know what kind of idiot crashes under the safety car, but I've done it 3-4 times now. Meatbo's done it a couple of times. Only the best drivers crash under the safety car because we don't give up. We always push. We're always on the limit. Even under the safety car, we're at the limit of the safety car. But yeah, a number of drivers have gone for the wets then, the highest of which was Matt. It'll be interesting to see how their strategy plays out. Samim and Silver, Wesley, Heat all also gone for that as well, but we are still under the safety car conditions. And
Mr. D is speeding.
Certainly is. And that is a late call. Larson also pitting as well. Late calls there, but I imagine they're going for the full wets because, yeah, but you should have done that a lap ago. As soon as they saw the safety car, we should have come in for the wets. Now you're going to lose more positions than if you had jumped in the pits straight away. Unfortunate, but it could prove vital. The guys at the front are all gambling. The top 6 guys are all gambling that this intermediate conditions won't be around for too long, and that could be a good call if we're honest, really, because we're spending so long under the safety car. We could be getting a dry line or an intermediate line at least driven into the track, into the racing line. That could help these guys out, and they just need to survive, really. A number of people
survive?
I mean, if these guys survive on the intermediates, then they don't have to pit again when it comes back to intermediate track conditions again, whereas everybody behind has to pit once more at least. If the weather
yes,
changes.
but if you look at the spray, the wet tires are causing. It's a full wet condition.
It's a hard track to overtake at, really. It's track position is king here. Pitting for the wets gives you that pace, maybe, yes, but chances are that we're probably going to see another safety car in the next 5 laps, because I get the feeling we might hit the limit here. We're already second one, 6 laps in. We've only had like a lap and a half of racing so far. If that, I think combined we've probably had a lap of racing so far. And yeah, the chances of another safety car are high. Haskos is currently a long way at the back, off the back, but I get the feeling we're probably going to see the safety car in this lap. But yeah, a number of people are struggling in these conditions. It's, I mean, it's a tough track. It's a tough track, and these conditions make it twice as hard.
Did we have a notification that will go in this lap? No.
Not yet, but it can get late calls, but maybe one more, because it's taking Haskos some time to catch back up. But Haskos not having the best race so far after that incident lap 1, where he lost his front wing, and yeah, he's struggling with the back end of the car there, as you can see, even on the safety car. He's rushing to catch up. Are we going to see safety car in this lap late? It's going to be a very, very late call if it is. And yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to be. No, one more lap under the safety car, much to my disappointment. I really wanted to get underway. But one more, and it seems unnecessary this lap as well, because Haskos is now caught up. Oh, that's a Ferrari going very sideways there at that final corner. Just showing you exactly how tricky these conditions are. That Tenari, one of the safest drivers on the grid, has lost it there and almost ended up in the pit wall under the safety car once again as well. So very, very tough conditions. Tenari doesn't look like he's got any damage to his wing, so he got away with it. He didn't hit the wall. If he did hit it, he's got very, very light damage. But look at this battle now that we've got here. P1, P2, P3, P4. Haas and Ferrari really going at it, and then futuristic Crystals.
Larson pitted for liters.
That's the second pit stop under the safety car for Larson as well. So is that gonna? I mean, pretty sure we're gonna have safety car in this lap, regardless of what happens here with Larson, because I think there's a limit to how many laps you can have under the safety car. We may have hit that, but I wonder if maybe he had damage and he had to come back.
Oh, a little spin from Wesley?
I think it was an Alpine going a bit wobbly there. Oh, there's an Alpine sideways in the background again. Look how difficult this is. Crystals is losing positions into the safety car. He's spanning under the safety car. These guys are going to have illegal overtakes by the looks of things. Yes, he gets back, both positions back and gets back up there. But I mean, look at this. I mean, this is so difficult conditions. The guys in the intermediates are really struggling for grip here. I wonder if they're going to get mugged by these guys on the wets behind. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see, because Kirikidis, look at this, Kirikidis was ahead of Joel before he pit for the wets. Obviously, he made a mistake by not pitting immediately. Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. But look at all of the positions that Kirikidis has dropped there because of that poor decision to pit at the second lap of the safety car. Backing up very early now is Mipo. Tyre temps are going to be huge now as well. These guys in the intermediates are going to be struggling very hard to get tyre temp into these tyres. It's impossible to get tyre temp into the intermediates when it's too wet for them. That is basically the best indicator you've got for when to go and when to go on the full wets and when not. It's going to get
now
spicy.
at this section of the track, now that the first car is staying back, the tyres are getting even colder. Now that's going to be a very big problem for the Inters.
Certainly is, yeah. And let's see where Meepo is going to go this time. He went just before the final corner last time, and he's done the same again. And he's gone a bit wide there as well. That could leave the door open for Vinge, who's going to get a very good run down into turn 1. This could be entertaining. He's going to look at the outside. Nope, it looks like Meepo has used all of his battery there to defend against that. And Vinge could not take advantage. But something major is going on in the background there. We've got Alpines and McLarens in all sorts of bother as Matt gains 2 positions, and an Alpine, it's futuristic, has gone round and into the wall. He looks like he's still alive, but he's going to have to stop and stay there now for the full time to let everybody pass so he can go again, and then he's going to have to pit, and he's reversing into the wall as well. That could be rear wing damage as well. Haskos has gained big time there on that restart, gaining plenty of positions. He started at the back at this restart. Joel is up a position there on silver on the intermediates, but a couple of guys on the intermediates really struggling here. Samim is around. Samim is gone around and he's off the track. He joins safely enough.
Oh, go with Kyriakidis. They are having a 3-wide what?
Oh, that is very entertaining. That is Wesley taking them both on up the inside. Wow, what a move from Wesley. That was full commitment there. And Kyriakidis loses out and gets his elbows out still as well. Kyriakidis in the background there with Haskos right behind him, looking to take advantage of what's going on here. As this is very entertaining. I mean, there's no space anywhere on this track to make an overtake, and these guys are all making mistakes left and right. Matt now gets past Tunari. We missed that. That's out of the hairpin there, and he's already looking at the horse, and he gets past the horse as well. Matt is on a charge. He gets past Christian there around the outside.
Oh my God!
The full wets. The full wets have got so much more grip at the moment than the intermediate, and Matt is taking full advantage. Dice is climbing.
You're losing battle in the back with Haskos and Silver. Oh my God, we have the Cardinals back in the midfield.
Following on board now with Haskos. These guys on the wet tyres are absolutely destroying the intermediates at the moment, but if you defend well and you don't make the mistakes, it's impossible for these guys to make that overtake. Christian gets past 2 people. Well, that is Meepo into the pits. He's going for the full wets. Meepo into the pits from the lead, and Matt lost out. Oh, there's a big crash there. There's Wesley out. There's a wing flying all over the place. I cannot keep up with what is going on. There's so much action.
I don't see a safety car.
Oh, it's a full course yellow. Is it VSC only? I wonder. It looks like Wesley is dead on the pit straight. The main straight. It looks like he's out far enough out of the way for it not to be a full safety car. It looks like a VSC. Oh my word, that gives us a breather though. Yeah, there he is on the right hand side of the pit straight. He's well off the track. He's been cleared now, so we will not.
Please somebody get my pills. Please somebody get my pills.
Have you had a heart condition before this race? You definitely have one now. Meepo now down into P13. But on those wets, he pulled the trigger early and went for the wets. Now Vinge inherits the lead, but Matt right behind him on the wets has the strategy, has the things. We're going to see the safety car end anytime.
The track is so wet, you can see the little pools forming on the track. It's so wet.
Yeah, the shininess of the track. Good indicator of how wet it's getting, and it looks very shiny at the moment. But these conditions won't last very long. And then it's going to be back to intermediates. And we're back to green, and already Matt alongside and past straight away. Matt just left Vinge for dead. That is the grip difference between these tyres at the moment, and I think these guys on the intermediates are just trying to hang it out now. They just need to hang it out, try and stay as close as possible. But look at that gap there, 1.2 seconds. They can't. Kyriakidis manages to get past Crystal. Crystal's struggling hard on these intermediate tyres. These guys on the intermediates not doing well. They have no grip in these conditions, and they're getting mullered. Essentially, no other word for it, by the guys on the full wets. We've got Kyriakidis now all over the back of Tunari, who's gained big time on these wets as well. Is pushing Tunari around the final corner, and he's got an Aston Martin. Tunari trying to defend the inside, but gives it up in the end, wants to pit, and wasn't allowed to because, oh my God, it's too wide there around the final corner. Samim makes the move stick. 5-second penalty for Vinge for speeding in the pit lane, and Samim down the inside now into turn 1 on Kyriakidis. What a battle between these two. There's no time to breathe. There's so much going on.
I told you about the wets, didn't I?
Yeah, you
I
did. You
told
called it. Dice is up into P2 after all of that mayhem and the pit stops.
you.
And
Ooh.
he's managed to gain a lot out of that. Christian is still in P3, hanging on at the moment to that P3, but he's going to lose out here to Samim around the outside. He's got another guy on the inside. He's got Kiriakis lose out his 2 positions in one straight. Just has not got the grip. But look at that, spinning all over the place is Christian. But if it dries out now, the intermediates, the 3 guys who stay in the intermediates will regain all of these positions back. It's
way too wet
interesting.
right now. It's way too wet for Inters. So even if the rainfall drops and go for a lighter rain, the track is gonna be full wet for a long time.
Yeah, maybe as well. And then Christian, the intermediates just have no grip. And Christian, look at that, dive down the inside into the hairpin because Christian left the door just slightly ajar, and that is Vietje through. And obviously the pace difference that we're used to seeing between those 2 drivers on top, that kind of shows just how much grip the wets have over the intermediates. Christian is making mistakes left and right, and he cannot get the power down out of any of these corners. Look at Lepson now, all over the back of him. The wets are just the best tyre at the moment, and imagine where Futuristic would be. He was the man to go for that gamble first. Imagine where he would be if he did not crash out of turn 3. Silver is retired now. Silver is retired, and that is another full call safety car.
Safety car! Oh my God!
The 3rd safety car of the evening, and
now either the Inters will go and change the tires,
they have to change. They have to. Christian's into the pits. He's changing his tyres. Crystals stays out. Interesting call there from Crystals. He's hoping that he can just hang on to these tyres for a long time here. Go to the intermediates again, but I think that's a big mistake. He's losing out too many positions. Meepo already back up to P8. And Joel also staying out on the intermediates. These guys, are they blind? Do they not see what's going on around them?
I think they are going to be destroyed from the wet wearers because they will have more grip. Even if they stay out, the gaps will close, so anything goes.
I mean, these guys, the intermediates, have got wet guys all around them in a restart. They're going to get eaten up once more, unless the track dries out big time in the next 2 laps that we're probably going to have under this safety car. Tenari in the pits for the wets as well.
Even if we wanted to see the track drying up with the safety car, the spray from the tires will not be that high, so the track will be wet more.
Yeah, it's
more laps.
As well. I don't remember, but is this one of those tracks that takes a long time for the weather to change the conditions of the track itself? Like Spa, for example, it was light rain for about 10 laps before the intermediates actually became the faster tyre, and I'm wondering whether or not it's a case where with this track that it takes a long time for it to dry up. But it changed pretty rapidly from intermediate conditions to full wet, so I'm wondering if it's going to change rapidly from full wet to intermediate as soon as the rain lightens it up.
I think from inter to wet is faster than from wet to inters. If the rain continues, you know? If you think about it.
Yeah, certainly is. We've got a first penalty there as well. Well, actually, that's 5 seconds from Vinge from earlier, I remember. But
oh my god! Oh. So much exciting.
So many things going on at the moment. I mean, Tenari currently in P15, last of the running cars. We've got 5 DNFs, but I mean, 3 laps ago, Haskos was last of the running cars and is now in P2. So that kind of shows just how dramatic this race is.
Haskos took advantage the ending of the VCR.
Yeah, he certainly did. He's very good at starts and restarts so far this season, is Haskos. Doing very well. Crystals is in the pits, has decided to finally change to the full wets. So there's only 1 driver remaining on the intermediates, and that's Joel, who often goes for these alternate strategies. And I'll be honest, 9 times out of 10 they do not pay off for him. But he's choosing to do something different. Futuristic is going for the intermediates. He's pitted now for inters, fresh inters. He's trying something different now. I'm wondering if these guys have been given the call that maybe the line's lightening up.
I don't know about the call. I see the track. Do you see the little pools that are forming on the track?
Certainly do. It's still very wet. Lots of spray coming off the tyres. I don't think it's intermediate conditions right now, but it is a free pit stop under the safety car. So he loses a couple of positions. So that equates to about a second or two in terms of overall race time, simply because you're going to be right on the back of everybody else anyway. So it could be that he's just looking to do the big brain move, and those intermediates may well go to the end from here as well, or to the dry conditions, which I get the feeling that we are probably going to get to those dry conditions. Now, Ocean Chief said we're going to have safety car in this lap probably, and most likely those two guys are going to catch up through this sector. But Ocean Chief said at the beginning of the race that we're going to have light rain to start, then it gets heavy for 2 Mississippis, and then it's going to go light again and then go dry. So it could be, I mean, the rain looks as though it's pretty heavy to me at the moment, but it could be that that heavy sector of rain is now on its way out, and we're going to have
safety car in this lap? No.
Did we see that call? I don't think we have.
No. I'm wondering, I'm waiting with anticipation.
It might just call it now. It might just call it now, because we have the futuristic caught up at the back of the grid. Is it going to be a very late call? We don't know. I hope it is, because, I mean, this is the grid caught up. Call it. Call it. Come on. We want to race. We want to see more racing. Come on. Call it. We do not want to see another lap on the safety car. If it is, yep, there it is. Safety car in this lap. Very, very late call. It's given him that notification in turn 20 of 23. So Matt has to back this up very late. And he's looks like he's gone a bit early and then stopped again. Haskos has to put on the brakes, and then, but yeah, I don't think he could go because of that late safety car in call. But we are underway, and it looks like it was relatively safe. Looks like Meepo has gotten past Lepson there in the background. Oh, that's Lepson around as well. Gets a bit of a slapper there, but he gets back going again. Heath manages to get past Joel. Joel is dropping like a stone. Look at that. He has got no grip and cannot keep these guys behind. He's just hoping to stay on track for the time being and maybe look to win this on the strategy without losing too many positions. Futuristic, not gaining at all, really, on the back of these guys. But still within 1 second. Matt gets the restart done, though. And, oh, big swapper there coming out of Stamford. Haskos will be looking to pile the pressure on. Knowing Haskos and the aggression he's shown in the past, he will not think twice about sending it on Matt here. Matt just needs to keep his cool and keep things together. Tanari getting past a driver there. Looks like Joel, he was getting past. He gets up the inside into the Singapore sling as well. That is an unorthodox place to make a move, but he gets the move done on Lepson. Tanari showing his racecraft there, just sees a gap, puts his car in it. And that's that. Damien says in chat, I hope Dice stays chill. I hope so too. He's long overdue a good result like this, but he tends to be his own worst enemy when he gets into positions like these. Vinge and Christian swapping positions there. Side by side racing from both horses. No team orders here. Lepson has retired.
Oh.
That's another retirement, and it's another safety car, the fourth.
It's the last safety car. It's the last safety car. We don't have another safety car.
No, because we had a VSC. Does that count as a safety car? That's fifth. Is that 5? Or does that not count? Because this is the 4th full safety car.
4 full? Yes, okay, we have one more. Oh my god. So complicated race, I told you.
As we are finding out in chat as well from Kiko, a fellow Frenchman, that Matt has orange wing damage, so he's coming into the pits to get rid of that. And Lumbra guys now all coming into the pits. I think they're all going for intermediates because look at the rain. It's very, very light at the moment. Everybody here in the pits is probably going to stick the intermediates on. And you look at all these guys who went out the wets for 3-4 laps, and most of them were under the safety car. It was a pointless pit stop. So maybe Joel's going to inherit a lot of positions here. Joel stayed out. What are you doing, man? What is going... Who is Joel's crew chief? Because they need...
I don't know. You're supposed to.
Joel's crew chief needs shot with a cannon full of turd. Really does. Like, what's going on? No, Joel's strategy calls all season long. He's been backwards with the strategy calls. He always wants to do everything that everybody else isn't doing. Look at this. Look at the spin that Christian's getting there on these intermediates.
Ocean says I'm Joel Scrooge.
But not as Joel's crew chief. Ocean Chief is Joel's crew chief. Chief, have a word.
Chief,
Take yourself
you need training. You need
outside.
training.
Take yourself outside and have a word with yourself. It's not on. 30 laps on these intermediates. He could have pitted there for fresh intermediates and he would have been in the perfect position. I think he's going to try and get those intermediates now to the dries. Is that what's going on here? He's going to the end on the intermediates. I mean, this is just the tyre wear at Singapore's too high to take the intermediates to full track. Come on. I mean, we need to talk about something because we haven't got any racing going on. What's going on? 4th safety car in 14 laps. We've had more safety cars racing than we have racing here. In fact, we've had more DNFs under the safety car than we've had.
Okay, Eagle Ghost is saying if Joel now pitted, then staying out from his last safety car will have felt very useless. I think that's why he stayed out.
No, because I mean, he lost all the positions on the track because he should have pitted for wets. The best strategy here was to pit for the wets immediately as soon as it got heavy, and then pit back to the intermediates here and now, which Kyriakidis and others and Matt and others have done. But staying out, he's still got to pit, and everybody's right behind him. He's going to end up back at the back anyway. It doesn't make any sense.
They are fresh cinders, Ocean. That's the problem. Who's pitting now? Okay, we have Heat and Larson pitting.
Yeah, they're going for the intermediates because they see everybody else on the intermediates as well. I mean, look how dry the track is already. It's only been light rain for a lap so far under the safety car as well, and the track already looks like it's back to intermediate conditions. Not as shiny as it once was, nowhere near as much spray, and it looks very, very light this rain as well. Like, it could be that Joel gets these intermediates to the dry conditions, and if there's one more safety car, which we still have in us, then he may well still have the big brain strategy after all, but he's got to get to that dry stage first. And how old are those intermediates? How bad are those intermediates on his car at the moment? Is he going to get done? But look where Futuristic is now as well. Like, he pitted, he was last of the cars under the last safety car, and now he's P3.
The problem is, Will, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna pit?
Vietje, you mean?
Vietje, yeah.
I don't think he will. I think he's going to restart it here because his safety car's coming in now, so he can't pit. If he pits now, he's last anyway. So what's the point? He might as well stay out, cause a bit of a roadblock. But the intermediates is definitely going to be the quicker tyre now. We're going to see anybody on the wets, because he's the only person on the wets, is going to get eaten up, like just like the intermediates were getting eaten up earlier. But I'm surprised that Joel. I'm going to be interested, to see how Joel does on 14-lap-old intermediates compared to everybody else's fresh inters as well. Is he going to just drop like a stone again, negating all of the advantages gained from staying out? We wonder. But Meepo currently in P7 and Christian right behind him. Safety car in this lap. That's the story though. Meepo and Christian still right next to each other on track. And they're fighting it out for the championship at the moment, and they're right next to each other.
I have to disagree with Eagle Ghost in the chat. Maybe it's not that worn off, but it's still worn off. Fresh cinders are fresh cinders. Sorry, Eagle.
Futuristic has got past Joel under the safety car. Oh no, we're what's going on? We've got no yellow flag anymore. And Futuristic just overtook Joel.
If the car is outside the track limits, then you can overtake it.
That's against the SLR's rules, but there's no yellow flag anywhere on the track by the looks of things. Just as ordinarily there would be a yellow flag, but we are underway already. Looks like Vietje has gone late, but Futuristic already up the inside of Vietje. Gives me a horrible camera angle there. Let's see what's going on. But how Joel's going to be very disappointed that he lost the position of the safety car though, and I wonder if that's going to be a big fat penalty for Futuristic when that does come. But it depends on what happened there. But Joel is losing out to Haskos here. Haskos around down the inside and now has the outside for turn 5. Joel's keeping it in there. It's tight racing, but Haskos gets it round the outside. Samim gets past Kyriakidis. The bullet battle they've been having all race as well. Samim and Kyriakidis. Kyriakidis is getting eaten up by Ferrari, and now Haas is now coming at him as well. Looks like the Haas is going to just stay back. Oh, for a contact there between the Ferrari and the Aston Martin in front, and that gives the Haas Christian all the time in the world again. Oh, this is absolute mayhem going into Stamford here as well. Kyriakidis is proving very difficult to get past, but Meepo and Christian have both done it. Meepo gets past in style and then forces Christian to make the move and get the send on, because he can't afford to get too many cars between him and Meepo in terms of the championship fight. But along we go, and he's still going, and Vietje has managed to lose out to Futuristic, but Haskos is unable to get past Vietje so far. Vietje hanging out well on those wets so far as it is, but Joel dropping down another position. Samim gets up the inside of him into the hairpin, and Joel dropping like a fly once more, coming back. Contact there between the two, and Joel, around the outside. Samim tries to go around the outside into Canort, and he doesn't manage to get it done. He had to kind of get onto the brakes hard. Cuts off Meepo's nose a bit there, but he's within his right to do so. Christian and Meepo in a big battle here. Christian and Meepo side by side through the bay into the tunnel side by side. There's not enough space for two cars here. There's utmost respect being shown. They're giving each other space. Christian backs out of it. Meepo proving that he's got the balls to race side by side in the tunnel and not give it up. These guys fighting for a championship with each other, not giving each other an inch here. Fastest lap is 2 minutes from Futuristic. Samim now on Joel down into turn 1. So much action here when we do get racing. Contact there into turn 1. A bit of an early turn in there from Joel by the looks of things. Samim gets up the inside, gets the position and takes it away. Meepo now on the back of that, and then Christian on the back as well. Christian looks like he's kind of hanging back, lifted off a little bit, trying to give Meepo the room. Too much of a heart attack there. Incredible scenes, says Ocean Chief in the chat. It absolutely is. Meepo is finished. He has strong Sisu. Definitely Sisu involved there in going side by side through the tunnel with this main championship rival. I mean, if those guys had died there would have been absolute hell on in the interviews afterwards. But Futuristic leads the race in lap 17 of 31. It's hard to believe that we've only had 17 laps. We've been here about an hour and a half already. An hour we've been here since qualifying started, and we're only 17 laps into the race. Absolutely fantastic racing here. Christian has gotten past Meepo while I wasn't paying attention and looking at the other screen. Meepo's made a big mistake there somewhere, and Kyriakidis gets past Matt as well. Matt has had a solid race so far, still has it all to play for, but Meepo is struggling. Has he got damage? Has Meepo got damage? It doesn't look like he does. He's got a fully intact wing, but he's dropping like a fly at the moment. He's under pressure from the Williams of Kyriakidis. Matt is looking to sniff up with some scraps as well. And it's all been turned on its head this race. And we've got Vinge Crystals is down in P12. He was one of the quickest guys in qualifying. And it's not gone his way so far. But he's got time to make up. Tenari in P11 as well. These guys do not belong there. Haskos and Vietje, you wouldn't expect to see them in podium positions either. Futuristic, we've seen him finish in top 5 several times, but it's absolutely backwards what's going on here. It's hard to keep up with. Haskos for the fastest lap, 1:55 here. As it kind of shows you what we've been dealing with this entire race. Are we actually going to get some racing? Well, this is the longest prolonged period of racing we've had so far today. We've had 2 laps without a safety car. It's absolutely incredible. But it looks like, we've managed to shift out all of these poor drivers who can't keep it out the walls. All 7 of them. No offense, guys. I'm just taking the mic. Absolutely incredible racing here. I can't say, one more safety car and we've hit the limit. We can't have any more. That kind of tells you exactly what's going on here. Having some big battles here. Christian is going down the inside now of Vietje. Vietje is dropping positions. Meepo cannot get round the outside of Vietje. He's going to stick his nose there anyway. He gets it cut off, and rightly so. He did not have the rights to that corner, but Christian is now got a car between him and his title rival, and he has Joel in front of him on old intermediates. Joel doing well on those old intermediates, but not going so well in terms of winning the race. But Samim, Haskos. Around up the inside in the hairpin is Haskos on Futuristic. A battle going on here. No DRS to help him out to get the move done. He's going to go for the inside. No, he's not. Futuristic defending very, very well, putting his car in the middle of the track, making it very difficult for Haskos to get around. Haskos will be looking to pile the pressure on, though, as we've got Vietje and Meepo alongside, and Kyriakides taking advantage of that by going up the inside into Canort. He's going to go around the outside, and he's going to have the inside now for the next corner. He's going to get this done, is he? And Vietje is trying to hang in there, but he can't. He just hasn't got the grip. Matt is going to go down the inside into the tunnel as well. Yep, look at that. No pace on these wets now. Vietje has to pit now to get rid of these wets. They're just not working for him.
Kiko says I'm scared. Kiko says I'm scared. He's afraid.
Samim now with the fastest lap. I'm afraid as well. I'm afraid that I'm going to have a heart attack at some point during this race. I cannot keep up with what is going on. There's so much action going on. It's everywhere. We've probably missed more action than we've called at this stage. And that is actually incredible, considering we've only had about 7 laps of racing or something like that. Most of it's been under the safety car. And we've still had all this great action and overtakes. So many mistakes. Crystal's currently in P11. Will be very disappointed in himself if he finishes outside of the points in Tier 2. He's a Tier 1 driver, and a quick one at that as well. He's got the wherewithal and the pace and the ability to get back into the podium positions from here, I believe, because, I mean, you could be dead last like Vinges at the moment and still get back onto the podium from this point. And, yeah, so much going on. So much going on. Meepo manages to get past Joel up the inside in an unorthodox position there as well. That is in Padang. A very difficult corner to make a move in. It's one of the hardest corners I've ever had to deal with in all my F1 career, Padang. It's so easy to get wrong, so hard to get right. That corner, it's one of those, you've got to kind of like float it in, carry all of the more speed than you think you can to get that late apex. But if you get it just slightly wrong or touch that curb just a bit too hard, it chucks you into a wall and kills you. And nobody's died there yet today, though, because I feel as though everybody's terrified of that corner. But Joel loses out to Kyriakides as well. He's still dropping positions. That's all Joel seems to be able to do this race, is drop positions. He keeps getting up there with a strategy call and then drops back down again.
I have to say, Kiko, your heart is not the only heart that can't follow the action. I have to take my calm pills.
Samim currently looking very fast. Christian, though, as well, 2 seconds faster still by the looks of things there. I think I might have got my numbers mixed up, but these guys in the front three are very tight together. But they've got to be aware that if they fight too much, they're going to let Christian and Meepo back into it. And these guys are rapid and can definitely win this. Matt and Tunari also having a bit of a ding-dong in the back as well. 10th between them as Matt looking to rescue his race, really. He's P9 at the moment, and considering how well his race has gone so far, and it's looking like a disappointment, really, so at this stage. But 11 laps to go. Vinge gets a 3-second time penalty. That's the second penalty. The only man with a penalty now has 8 seconds. That probably rules him out of everything, really. He's 24 seconds
Okay,
off.
I have a big question for you. Do you think the track is going to dry out until the end of the race?
I think we have no rain. Look at it at the moment. There's no rain falling on my screen at all. So we are not far from slick conditions. We are saying, oh, no, there is a bit of spray, but no rain falling itself. Let's have a look. Yeah, maybe a little bit of rain. I'm looking at Futuristic at the moment. Maybe there's still a little bit of rain falling, but I cannot see many drops at all on my screen. It looks as though we're probably going to get to dry conditions. We're probably going to see a little bit of a sprint to the end on dries. Who's going to be the first to take that gamble? Are we going to see DRS enabled? And who's going to do it? Get this right. This is another vital moment in the strategy. Haskos had a tank slapper, says Damien, and is now back in 1 second of Futuristic. So he's got the pace. He's got the pace. But can he get past Futuristic? Futuristic, Christian and Meepo, though, still battling so hard for this championship as well. Meepo needs to finish ahead of Christian. Needs to make that move. And is he going to go for the undercut? Who's going to go for the undercut? Who's going to pit first? It's Crystal's pitting at the moment. Is he going to go for slicks? It looks like mediums are going on. Crystals, and he's got a wing change coming on as well. So Crystals is the first to blink for the slick tyres. And he has to make that gamble, essentially, really. He has to make the gamble, but I think it may be a lap too early. I don't think the dry line is quite there yet. I think it's a lap too early, but it is very, very close now to slick conditions, I think. Already it's drying out very, very quick. But I think these guys, yeah, I'll probably take the gamble, really. I mean, these guys at the front as well, Haskos, Futuristic, Samim, they might need to take the gamble as well because Christian and Meepo are on the back of them already. Tanari looking at Joel as well. Joel, it doesn't seem to have panned out, these strategy calls for Joel. He's still there or whereabouts we would have ended up if he'd pitted twice under the safety cars anyway. And yeah, it looks like we're going to have an interesting finish here. I don't know what's going to happen here with this strategy. Who's going to go for the slicks? It looks as though Crystal's 7.5 seconds off. He's losing time to the intermediate, so it's not quite there for the slicks just yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. He doesn't look to be having too much problems though. He's keeping it on the track. He's fast. He's getting temp into the tyres maybe, I wonder, but at the moment looks like the intermediate is just a little bit quicker still. He's having to be careful. He's braking early for the hairpin, so he's lost 7/10 in the last couple of corners. Definitely not time for the intermediates, but a number of people at the front are going for slicks by the looks of things. Lots of people going for slicks, Meepo included. Christian has stayed out. That is a very interesting decision. It doesn't look, I mean, it could be that that's the perfect time to go for them and then they're going to catch up. But at the moment, Crystals is still losing time to Vietje on the slicks. So I don't think it's time yet. I think maybe another lap. Another lap or two. Christian setting purple sector on the intermediates. Vinge with the fastest lap on the intermediates as well. Vinge is now up to P7 after being dead last 2 minutes ago. It's just, I cannot call this race. What is going on? There's so much to take in.
I believe it's a time for mediums.
I don't know. I just don't know. Like, well, we'll never know now because Vinge is the only person out on the intermediates. Well, Christian and Larson have both stayed out. Well, we'll see when Christian comes in exactly where he ends up in relation to everybody else. But I think 13.8, 13.9. I think the mediums are still slower than the intermediates at the moment. I think it's very much crossover period just about now. If you pit now, you've made the right call. So I think Christian has got this strategy spot on. I think he's done it. I think we'll see now if he pits now, where he comes out in relation to Meepo. Meepo is right on his tail. Where he comes up now in relation to Meepo is what it is. There's DRS enabled, and
I told you,
is now coming into the pits. And I think he gets the perfect run. He gets the very perfect timing to get to the slicks. Joel has finally pitted. Chief finally gave him the call to get into the pits. Might see a few wall contacts with his medium, says Damien in chat. Larson is currently up into P2 because he have made up a lot of positions now as well. He's got 14 seconds off the back of Christian though, so he's going to lose out big time. But let's have a look. Where's Meepo? Meepo is coming down through turn 22. Down through 23. Christian is already coming out of the pits. Meepo is on the back straight, but cars ahead of him. I think Christian gets out and he's keeping the lead as well. Christian, with an absolute genius masterstroke of a strategy call, has pitted at the perfect time. Comes out in the slicks, in the lead still, and is about to win this race and take a commanding lead in the championship. Meepo was in P5. It did not work out for him. Crystals did not gain at all, really, from pitting earliest as well. So, absolute genius plays from Christian. Haskos in P2, on for his best ever finish in SLR. Futuristic just behind him. We'll be looking now to pile the pressure on him. We're going to have some dry racing in a sprint race till the end. We've got 8 laps to go. 1 safety car left still. If somebody bins it into the wall. But the track has dried up remarkably quickly. Vinge has really lost out big time. Matt has had a really unfortunate day today with his strategy as well. Down in P9, he was looking so good in the early stages. But I mean, everybody was looking good. It was all safety car, safety car, safety car. And it's not how you start. It's not how you how the middle of the race goes. It's how you finish. But look at this, we've got 5 guys still vying for the win. Meepo bringing up the rear on these guys. He needs to start sending it on these guys and really putting some pressure on. Kinitakidis with the 3-second time penalty. Only the second, which is amazing, of the race so far. But considering we've had about 12 laps, 15 laps under the safety car, it's not surprising that not many people have.
It was a big mistake. It was a big mistake from Kyriakidis because he's going to lose about 2 or 3 places.
Maybe. We've got a couple of own penalties just slotted in there as well. Samim getting that one. That's probably chances of a podium gone for Samim. We're going to see more of those popping in now as people are now pushing limits more. Matt with the fastest lap of the race, a 141.9. And that is pretty rapid as well. So we're probably in full dry conditions as it stands. Haskos has fallen way off the back of Christian though. And that leaves him vulnerable to Futuristic, who is also looking for his best finish of the season. First podium finish, I believe. Or maybe he's got a podium already. Heat with the fastest lap now as well. That's going to come in thick and fast, as we'll probably see somebody going to get into the 39s by the end of this race, I imagine, with fastest lap. But Haskos fallen off big time from the back of Christian. Christian is running away with it. That strategy call, though, from Christian, you've got to say, chef's kiss. Brilliant, brilliant stuff. VSC plus SCs is 5 out of 5, but I don't believe VSCs count as towards the SC quota, but I could be wrong.
No, they don't. The virtuals do not count.
Yeah, but Meepo gets past Samim, gets the move done. He hasn't got much time left in this race. It's damage limitation really for Meepo at the moment. He needs to get past as many people as he can to try and reduce the points gain that Christian is getting, but it doesn't look as though Christian is going to give this one up or anything's going to go wrong here. Crystals gets a time penalty there, and it's unfortunate for him. Crystal's out of practice, very, very rusty. Christian with the fastest lap now, a 40.5. Oh, we're going to see 39s. Imagine we are. 2.3 seconds now, the gap from Christian to Haskos, and looks like Futuristic is going to be unable to line him up for a move, but Meepo will be lining Futuristic up for a move now. Haskos has done very well to drop Futuristic and relieve some of the pressure on himself, using up a lot of his battery, I imagine, to do so. Meepo not using battery to get past Futuristic here. Doesn't look as though he's going to make the move this lap. Very tricky to get a move done here, I have to say. It's tough track to overtake. Track position is king. And Tunari looks like he's going to go around, try and go around the outside of Joel here. He's going to have the inside for Stanford and gets the move done. Joel just unable to fight that one. Really, you cannot turn in there. Nothing to be done. Joel maybe could have been cuter there, let him pass and got the switch back. But no, not to be this time. Meepo gets contact from Haskos. Haskos is around. And it's gone from it's gone all wrong for Haskos there. He had contact with Meepo there. Ends up in the wall. He's left the session. He's DNF'd in the pits. So no safety car from that. But Haskos is now down to P7. Joel gets past him. It's gone wrong. It's all switch back there from Haskos there. Not too bad. Joel outbraked himself there. Haskos gets the position back. But it's all gone wrong. It's just, I don't know if that's a curse from somebody or if I cursed the man. I don't know, but it looked that way. Meepo into a podium position on the back of Futuristic seems to have done what he needs to do to limit the damage that Christian is doing to him, but I don't think he's ever going to be able to catch Christian. He gets to the inside straight away, gets past Futuristic. Futuristic doesn't even bother fighting that. It's not his fight, not his battle. He knows he hasn't got the pace to deal with Meepo, and Meepo with DRS is going to get past, but now he has DRS to follow Meepo down the main straight and help defend from Samim. Samim will probably go for this regardless of the penalty. He wants to get past and get the 3-second gap, I imagine. Haskos and Joel having a bit of a ding-dong battle here as well. Haskos is around once more. They've had contact by the looks of things and hit each other maybe. And that is unfortunate. We'll love to see what at the end of the race. But those guys having a bit of a battle there. Haskos maybe seeing a bit of red mist. Maybe he's lost his cool a bit after being in such a podium place. Essentially, he was on for a podium finish, and he's thrown it into the wall. He's Singapore slung it over his shoulder. I'm not sorry. It's honestly, it's turning into a bit of a dull end now at this stage, but there's still lots going on. I mean, the action we've had throughout the race, it seems to have all died down a little bit. But I'll take that, because I mean, I cannot catch a breath. Still throughout this race, it's been
Wesley, the
mayhem.
sensation? Oh.
Wesley died a long time ago. I imagine he's probably just been here looking after Vietja, crew chiefing for his friend by following on board and helping him out a bit. But now that Vietja's pretty much guaranteed to finish P13, it's race over. Vinge gets past Crystals, and looks like Crystals has got no front wing by the looks of things. So not a day to remember for Crystals. Needs more practice, essentially. He's going to lose out to Matt. Matt, as well, as you have to say, he's been very, very unfortunate today. He had such a good race throughout, and then it's all gone pear-shaped at the end, and it's not gone out well. He's not even going to get a point out of this in the end. But Kyriakidis, P6. He might lose out one position to Joel due to that penalty.
Yeah, he will lose the one.
Is very good. Futuristic with his first podium, I believe.
He could have retained his position if he didn't make the mistake.
That's still all to play for. You can drop 3 seconds, I'm sure, or Joel maybe gets a penalty himself. But closest battle on track is Samim and Futuristic, but Samim has this penalty. He won't get the podium position most likely, even if he does overtake Futuristic, but he will get bragging rights on track. But he doesn't want to take too many risks and kill themselves fighting for that. Joel and Babulas are also going to have a fight here as well by the looks of things. Lovely little camera angle there on Joel's bonnet as we see Kyriakidis in the foreground there. Joel will want to get this. Ooh, almost goes into the back of Kyriakidis there. Out breaking himself a little bit, or maybe Kyriakidis is breaking early. Kyriakidis would be wise to just give this up, not fight this too hard with that penalty, and just hang on the coattails. Crystals
I don't know.
And,
I don't know if he has damage. If Kyriakidis has damage, I don't know that.
Crystals is DNF'd on track as well, but it doesn't look like we're going to get a safety car for that. We should, given where it is. It's in turns 11 and 12, so it would almost be a 100% safety car setting there as well. So I wonder whether or not we are wrong and about the safety cars, and VSCs do count towards the limit. It could be, but I mean, you would have expected a safety car there if you crash in that sector, just where the 2 is, before the DRS detection of the hairpin. You would expect to see a safety car with a car sideways there, but not so today. We've got another yellow flag here, and that is Vinge, who is DNF'd on the main straight, and I'm not sure how he's managed that. Let's have a look, see where he is. He's DNF'd on the main straight, and it is
right in the middle of the track.
I don't know how he's managed to do that, but if that's not a safety car, then we have definitely reached the safety car quota. We also have only 3 laps left, so it could also be because of that. But that you can't have a safety car in the last 3 laps. But still action going on, even with these big gaps that we've got now. It's been a long, long race. We have 11 drivers out of 20 are finishing this race. That kind of tells you how long this race has been, how difficult it's been as well. We are approaching the 1.5 hour mark.
Oh! Joel is overtaking Kyriakidis. They touched a little bit, that's why I made the sound. Oh my god. It
Joel
was...
does get past in the end. And yeah, Kyriakidis will now probably not lose a position now to Larson. 2 laps remaining. And Meepo has managed to dig out into 2 seconds into Christian's lead, but I think it's not going to happen really. It's too little too late. He cannot catch him. He's trying his best. He's putting in quali laps, and Christian just needs to keep things smooth really, and he'll hang on to it. But one more lap to get within 1 second, I don't think it's going to be possible. But Samim all over the back of Futuristic, but probably won't go for the move. Just wants to finish the race. At this stage, it's just about survival. Get to the end, get the points in the bag. Samim with a decent position. I mean, considering how backwards this race has been and up and down it's been as well. P4 after wherever, you know, all of the action that's gone on today. Samim will be very, very happy with that.
You have to admire Larson too, from P17 to P8.
Yeah, certainly do. There's the penalties. We've got 3 seconds penalties apiece for Samim and Kyriakidis. Everybody's on the same tyre. We've had 6 pit stops for Larson. That must be a record. of some type. But position change, 17 positions gained by Futuristic. He has got to be driver of the day after that. If he gets this podium, he will get the podium as well by the looks of things. He's gone from P20 to P3. Steam says, yeah, we've nearly lost half the grid, and there's still time to lose one more and get that half.
Yes, we need one more for 50%. Come on, who's gonna be? I'm gonna hear your bets. Come on. I won't say who cursed who. Come on.
Draw your lots now, basically. Yeah, who's going to get cursed? Tonari is actually catching the back of Samim as well. Samim is going to lose out on this position to Tonari because of the 3-second time penalty. So Tonari's done very well to catch that. I didn't think that was going to be a case, but we've got a yellow flag there. And it is Kyriakidis. It's Kyriakidis losing a position there to Larson, and he's got the penalty. He's going to lose out a position to Haskos as well. Ah, you've cursed your own teammate.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Oh, Haskos, he's having real troubles there. He got on the curb a bit too hard there. Has Kyriakidis. It's been a long race. Focus is not quite what it was at the beginning. And yeah, Kyriakidis has lost out a couple of positions there. Some big points paying positions there. Larson is up 10 playing points positions as well. P17.
It is something that me and Kyriakidis argue over and over and over again. He's losing focus when he's racing. I don't know why, but he's losing focus. He wants to attack, he wants to gain a place or a couple of seconds, but he's still doing things like that.
It happens to the best of us, and the only way to prevent those kind of situations and losing focus and things like that kind of thing is to put in even more practice. You have to know the track like the back of your hand and know exactly where you're bringing all of the time everywhere. And yeah, focus, keeping focused 100% of the race is very difficult.
He can't be focused now. He's a dad now, so he can't sleep. He always feeds the baby, and you know, you're not clear-headed, you know.
Chief saying in chat there that whenever he races Singapore, he always has a line of coffee first. I think, yeah, but don't want to be promoting that kind of drug use in the chat, Chief. Meth only here. That's. But yeah, I mean, we started at 6:30, and we're now at 8 o'clock. So it's been an hour and a half. Is that right? Yeah, an hour and a half. This is the longest commentary I've ever done, I think. I am literally dizzy.
But, yes, but it was the most exciting commentary you ever done.
Well, maybe. I mean, there wasn't a lot for the first 17 laps. We had like a lap and a half of racing or something like that kind of thing. It was all fantastic, I've got to say. But it's been a very, very entertaining race, you've got to say. A very, very entertaining race. We're on the last lap now, and Christian is now coming into Sector 3. And we'll round this off. But look at the gap that Christian Meepo has managed to close in. I mean, obviously, Christian is not really pushing. He just had to get to the end and win this race without taking risks and things. But Meepo was obviously pushing as hard as he possibly could. We've got a yellow flag there, and it is a
Tonari is overtaking Samim.
It is Joel who's around. He's going to lose out a position to his teammate by the looks of things. But yeah, Samim and Tonari. Tonari gets past Samim. I think Samim probably just gave that up. But Christian wins the Singapore Grand Prix and takes a commanding lead. He gains another 5 points or so over and Meepo in the championship. Meepo gets the fastest lap, however, so he gains another point there. Big damage limitation from Meepo. Fantastic there. Futuristic gets his podium in the end. Not bad. Driver of the day for me is Futuristic. You've got to say, last P3.
Of course.
He's done very well. He was the first to go for the wet. He was the first to go for the intermediates. And he was one of the runners that got the dry tyres pretty much spot on as well. Larson and Christian, though, you have to say that strategy call from Christian to go to the intermediate, the slicks at the perfect time to gain the lead of the race. And he gained 4 or 5 positions over Meepo, his title rival. Let's not forget that strategy call got him so much. Damien says, Futuristic drives the day all day. Kaskos does get points in the end, P8, but he'll be very, very disappointed with himself after that finish. He was in a podium position with 5 or 6 laps to go, and an error from him or maybe it was contact with Meepo. I'm not sure what was going on there. Well, it remains to be seen. Driver of the day goes to Lawson, apparently, according to the game, but Futuristic is dead cert for that, you've got to say. I don't even know how Futuristic hasn't got it from the game, to be honest. Usually the game just gives it to whoever gains the most positions, and that was 100% Futuristic. But, yeah, what an entertaining race that was. You have to say, that had everything.
Yeah, we need to drink some tea to calm down, you know?
Congratulations to Christians. Do you want to try commentate the EGL events? The EGL events, what are they? I don't know about the EGL events. Yeah. Whew. Time to breathe. Look at this. Look at this finale. Look at these. P20 to P3 goes Futuristic. P17 to P7. Larson. Joel gets a decent result in the end with a P6, but you gotta wonder what if he actually pitted at the right times at stages there. He could have won this race quite easily, could Joel, if he'd had a decent crew chief. Not mentioning any names. Not mentioning any names, but congratulations to Christian on an absolute brilliant win there. Kyriakides does get points in the end. Maybe he could have got P7 or 6 or something like that kind of thing as well, but.
We'll have a long talk after the commentary. We'll have a long talk.
I mean, there's lots of rust and Christmas weight to be lost for a number of drivers here. I imagine some people are going to be pounding the practice tracks between now and the next race, which is Japan, I believe. One of my favourites on the calendar. Absolutely fantastic track. It's actually raining again as well, by the way, just at the end there. Yeah. It looks like it was raining, so...
The most, how can I say it, exciting race of the calendar so far. We had other races too, but like this, we had the last year we had the same thing. We started with a dry race and we finished up with a wet, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, maybe. Let's move on though and get to the interviews. Let's see who we've got. We've got Futuristic. We'll bring him in first. So Futuristic, our driver of the day, not the games, strangely enough, even though you went from P20 to P3. Absolutely fantastic race in the end there. You had a great battle with Haskos at some stage there as well. But talk us through your race. It must have been very entertaining to finish P3 after everything that went on in that race.
Yeah, I don't know. First of all, I had to dedicate this podium to Joel, who actually helped me a lot because for some reason the game allowed me to overtake him during I think it was the last safety car, and I said to him multiple times, I will give it back as soon as possible, and he was like, no, go for it. So I have him to thanks a lot for this. And towards your question about the race, it was hectic, especially at the start when we had like back-to-back full safety cars, and somehow we ended up on lap 13. And on every single safety car, I did the opposite to the cars ahead. So I was first on the wets, and when everyone else pitted for full wets, I pitted for inters, and that cycled me through towards the front. And yeah, and then I had an amazing battle with Haskos and Flamim, I believe. So
yeah, you definitely had to defend hard from Haskos as well. We saw you putting the car in the middle of the track on the stream, but in the end he got past and he dropped you as well, but he had a big mistake in the end. Did you see what happened to him with this mistake? I think he's talking in general now about an issue with his computer going wrong, but I mean, we saw him in the wall. So did you see what happened to Haskos and why he got past? But the main question, the real question I want to ask is, why did you pit for the intermediates? What was Jeff telling you at that time?
The Jeff telling me was it was in full wets are faster, but since it's Singapore, I knew it's drying up super quickly here. So, and I was at the back of the field, so I had nothing to lose. So I was like, let's go for it, and it actually paid off.
Paid off big time, yeah. Paid off big time. Yeah, we're going to move on fairly quickly because I've got a lot of interviews to get through. Got a lot of people in the interview channel. But thank you very much for your time, Futuristic, and congratulations, I believe, on your first podium this season. I don't know if it's your first podium in SLR, is it?
I don't think so, but it was a while. It was like season 4 or season 5, 6, somewhere there.
Long time.
Podiums, so
Long time to go
long
between
time.
podiums, yeah. But win coming soon. If those two guys in front of you crash next time out, maybe you'll get that win and we'll finally hear that beautiful singing voice of yours.
Yeah, we're getting closer.
Yeah, but take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and yeah, we'll move on quickly. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
So, we shall move on now to let's interview Joel. Joel's always a fun interview, and yeah, I want to kind of I want to I can't think of the word now, but I'm going to berate you for your strategy calls, or Chief. I don't know who's to go for, but what was going on with the strategy calls, man? You stayed out on the intermediates when you should have came in for the wets. Then you came in for the wet on the intermediates for the dry. You stayed out on the intermediates when you could have came in on the intermediates for fresh intermediates. You just never wanted. You just didn't want to pit. Have you got an argument going on with somebody in the pit wall or something? What's going on? Did you sleep?
Well, it worked, didn't it?
No.
It worked. Yeah, I came out in P2 at the end of that safety car when everyone had pit onto Inters.
You could have won. You could have won this race if you got the strategy calls right.
I could have won if I didn't have to let Futuristic back past. So, you know.
Come on now, Joel. Come on now. This is not an excuse. Not to me. This is an excuse. Not to me. To everybody else.
I didn't really have the pace, so yeah. I mean, it was the same. What was it? Was it in the Netherlands where I stayed out on the hards for the whole race, hoping it would go to Inters, and it didn't. So
yeah, sack your that's all I'm saying.
But it didn't happen this time. I did a one-stop. I think I'm the only person who did a one-stop.
Yeah, I mean, Larson finished
still
one
got
place
P6.
behind you. Yeah, but Larson finished behind you, and he did like just behind you. He almost got you in the end because of a mistake he made in those final laps, and he pit 6 times.
Yeah, well, I still finished ahead of him, didn't I? So that was the better strategy.
I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. I want to, but I can't. I definitely want to argue with that though. You could have won that. I mean, you relish these conditions every time it rains. You always say, "I love these conditions." Everybody crashes.
Yeah.
But
thankfully, it wasn't me.
That's how he's getting points.
Yeah, I got P8 last time. No, P6 last time, P6 today. So if I do that for the rest of the season, I'll win the championship.
I mean, the thing is, you're quicker than Futuristic. I believe that in my heart of hearts. And then he's come P3, and
I only had 2 laps
behind
of
you
practice.
at the last safety car. He was dead last at the last safety car, but he made the right strategy call. Sack the crew chief. I'm just saying, sack the crew chief, or at least.
Well,
Okay.
Chief was telling me to pit here, and I was like, Hamilton. I was like, no, man, I'm staying out.
Yes,
no, thanks.
okay, there is a big difference between you and Hamilton.
I mean, if
He's getting paid millions. That's the problem. So right now, listen to your chief.
I don't know what. I don't know who to listen to at this stage.
Racing for Mercedes,
Yeah.
and I don't know it.
It did work out in the end, P6. But I mean, your season's been up and down. Like consistency is what you were trying to work on, and it hasn't quite gone that way so far this season. But you are.
Well, it works consistency for each round individually.
That's
like the first 2 rounds. I got top 5s in the first 2 rounds. That's consistent.
Yeah, but what about the
and
rest
then I
of
had
the
a run,
You've got to keep
and then I
getting top
have 5 races with no points. That was consistent.
But that's not consistent with the first 2. Did you see?
Yeah, but it's consistent on its own, isn't it? So
no, because that's not
like
what
phase 2
means.
of the season.
Consistency. That's not what consistency means, though. That's not what consistency means.
Well, I think you'd still win the championship if every other race you crashed and the other races you won. So stuff consistency.
Faultless logic as always, Joel. Faultless logic.
Yeah. I'd end up on 100. No, it's 6 times 25. 150 points.
I'm almost 100% certain that you're wrong. If you win every other race but crash every other race, the guy who finishes
150
P2,
points.
The guy who finishes P2 every race wins the championship. I'm pretty sure that I'm right in that case. Because how I did P2?
Correct.
Yeah,
By 66 points.
by a long way. So you know, I've been
Yeah,
out
well,
of
it's
school.
better than 22 points, isn't it?
That's that inconsistency coming into play there, Joe. I mean, I've been out of school for 20 years, man. You've been out of school 20 minutes. How am I better at maths?
Anyway,
Anyway,
so
we
on to
shall-
the normal interview. My race was all right. I'm happy with it, and don't diss my strategies. Thank you.
No, I'm going to continue dissing the strategies because they're god awful. But yeah, like it was an entertaining race to try
Like
to comment on.
overtaking a safety car. Remember that? That was
Actually,
fantastic.
that was something I forgot about entirely. So much happened. Futuristic overtook you under the safety car.
Yeah, because something weird. The game said I had an illegal overtake on Futuristic when he came out the pits or something.
Oh.
So I just let him go, and then he said, "As he's told you, I'll let it go." But I said no because you'll just slow us all down. So go. So yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
I won't hold everyone else up with my nonsense.
Oh, you do that on the track instead. You were definitely holding people up today for sure. You were constantly dropping down. You were either you're at the front now or you're at the back. No, you're at the front now. You're dropping down to the back. But anyway,
Consistency.
consistency. Yeah.
Consistency on dropping back. That's consistency. Oh, I admit it.
Consistently inconsistent.
Anyway, my dinner's going to be ready in 20 minutes or 10 minutes or so.
Okay.
So I'm going to get a move on and
Have
do
fun.
one more interview. It's been a pleasure as always, Joel. And I'll be hopefully looking forward to seeing you in commentary box tomorrow. Are you here tomorrow?
Sunday I'm doing.
Sunday. Is it?
Nana.
Okay. Well, yeah. You can repay the favour with a shitty interview then, because I'll be there. We shall love you and leave you though. Take care, Joel. Have a good night.
Bye bye.
Final interview then. So we haven't got anybody else left to review. Just me both really. So damage limitation in the end, but P2 and fastest lap. You've got to be fairly satisfied with that, considering how this race went. It was an absolute mind-boggling race. This one. I hear in general chat as well that you, in the middle of this, you had a blue screen of death.
Yeah.
That's not
basically.
ideal.
No, it's not. No, it's not like blue screen of death. It's happened because I need to activate my Windows and I don't have the Windows key because it doesn't work for some reason. Who knows? I need to buy a new one, but you know.
Well, I mean, I think I'm still running off a free version of Windows I bought on Amazon for like £10. Back in Windows 7 days or something like that kind of thing, and it's just come with me to Windows 10 somehow, and now I've got a fully fledged legitimate version after using a pirated version of Windows. I hope nobody at Microsoft is listening to this, but yeah, that's not ideal. But you were actually much quicker than Christian in the end. You were catching him up. Lots of time was being gained. He was 5 seconds ahead of you or something like that, and it was down to 2 when the finish line came across. So you probably had the pace there. But 3 races to go, and Christian creates a gap now to you in the championship. I think he's now going to be. He was 4 points ahead of you now, and that's going to be another 4 points. I think, isn't it? Like I think it's.
I mean, he got 25. I got 19, so it's
6.
5.
Yes.
Oh, no, wait, 6.
6. Yeah. So that's 10 point gap then to make up in 3 races. Definitely doable. You're still in the fight. Is this going to be your season? Do you think for the championship? Or how do you feel about Japan for a start?
I mean, if my luck keeps going like this way, like having like blue screens or getting taken out of races or these things, if that keeps happening, definitely not.
Okay, you can buy a key in 1 week and you can activate the Windows. So
yeah. But
that doesn't stop
that is
people
not an excuse.
I know it's not an excuse, but that doesn't how do I say, take the no, I don't know whatever, but that doesn't take that there's a chance I could get taken out. So yeah.
Fingers crossed for you for the rest of the season. It's been a tough challenge this season, but I mean that is racing. In the end, you've got to overcome these obstacles. And Christian is due a bit of bad luck. I think he's finished every race so far. He is due a bit of bad luck, and Japan is definitely a bad luck track for a lot of people. But how do you feel about Japan? Personally, it's one of my favourites.
Favorite tracks,
like, I mean, debatable. Last game it was fun to drive because I had assists, but like, I have driven one race there, or actually two. I can say it's a fun track, especially the sector 1, especially, but like, sector 2 is not fun at all.
Yeah. I think conditions today as well, rainy conditions, tend not to be your forte. We've had this conversation in the past as well. But how difficult was it when you stayed out on those intermediates in the full wet conditions? How difficult was it to keep it on the track?
I mean, I kept asking Mark, or as I call him Marcos because he's Spanish, but like I kept asking him when is it, when is it gonna dry or get wetter, and he kept saying 10 to 15 minutes is gonna be dry, and then he kept saying inters are faster, and that same shit happened in Australia, and I was like, should I believe or not? Oh, sorry for cursing, but like, I was like, should I believe or not? I should have believed because it worked in Australia. So
Yeah. Always tricky. Matt, Mark, Jeff,
Yeah.
whatever you want to call him, he's
Yeah.
he's pretty bad at telling the weather. To be fair, but I mean, in
Yeah.
the end, I mean, you had a great battle. At some one point, you were side by side through the tunnel with Christian. You definitely challenge your inner Sisu there. Surely, like, I mean, that must have been very tense moment.
I was very limited on the throttle because I was scared of wheel spin or spinning in general, and there was other cars in front of me that were going slightly slower than me, so I had to like watch out. Then Christian came out of nowhere. I had to like, okay, let's fight him now. Then let's focus on the other guys ahead.
Yeah, certainly was an entertaining battle to watch as well. So if you do watch the race back, definitely enjoy that one. But we're gonna have to go because I can smell my dinner. It's almost ready. So, and I'm really hungry after commentating on this race because, man, even though there was 4 or 5 safety cars or something, there was so much going on all the time.
Yeah.
It was impossible to keep up with things. But yeah, congratulations on yet another top 2 finish, and I wish you the best of luck in the remainder of the season.
Yeah, but I have one question.
Yeah.
Did the stream get my switch back on Sammy?
No, it did not.
Come on, I like that so much. But, okay.
Put it in the race channel. Race videos channel.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
right,
I liked it very.
right to your local MP. Thank you very much for your time once more in the interview channel. Always a pleasure to have you here, Meepo. But yeah, take care and enjoy your gap to Japan.
Thank you.
So that's it. Once more, Babulas. We've got through another one, just about. And yeah, I'm going to go have a lie down. Think about all the life decisions that have led to this moment. And yeah, maybe get a bit emotional. I might have a cry. But
I think you will. I think you will.
Yeah, it's been actually brilliant race. Very, very entertaining to watch. I'm sure everybody watching this is going to have a few shorts coming our way from the YouTube team. And yeah, we shall continue next week. Well, tomorrow we shall continue with another Singapore race in Tier 1, where hopefully there'll be less safety cars and hopefully less rain, so we can actually see some proper racing as well. But looking forward to that one.
But this race is for rain, because you have so many ups and downs all over the track. That's the thing.
I'd call me old-fashioned. I just like to see dry racing. People doing the best they can in the best conditions they can. Rainy conditions, yes, they're difficult and things like that kind of thing, but I know how difficult it can be when you're behind that wheel, and how frustrating it can be for when things are going so well, and then something happens and it just goes all to pot.
Yeah, maybe because I grew up with different kind of drivers like Prost and Senna, and these guys were running in wets.
I grew up with those drivers, and none of them could hold a candle to Nigel Mansell. Actually, Senna could, to be fair. Senna's lap, that one lap in the wet, I can't remember which track it was at now, but it was absolutely phenomenal, where he just basically, he needed to win the championship, and I think in one lap he went from P7 to P1 or something like that. It was just unbelievable. It was why he was so good. People call, obviously, Lewis the GOAT, but I think in less time, Senna won more races and more championships, so... in terms of that, so who knows what Senna could have done had he not been so cruelly snatched from us in 1994. But We shall leave it there on that sad note, but I need to eat and I'm very hungry. So
Okay,
it's been a pleasure once more, Babalas. I'm looking forward to commentating with you.
like
in the future.
always.
But who knows when that's going to be. But
I'm
yeah.
here, whatever you need me, whenever you need me, I'm here.
Well, always good to know. But thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we shall love you and leave you. Thank you very much.
Good night, everybody.